Would you like to reach into the future and grab someone's thought before they have it? A prediction that will blow people's minds? That's what we're going to learn today. Well, don't get too cocky. It is just a card trick. Pretty easy card trick, though. And it's super beginner level. It is technically sleight of hand, but it's really not that hard to learn. And when you see the move, you're going to like, I can do that. Now, typically, this trick does end dirty, meaning not clean, meaning if somebody grabs the cards out of your hand, like people always seem to do to you when you are a beginner in Magic or an amateur in Magic, you know, like grab that card out of your hands and they go, this seems suspicious. So what I'm going to do is, after I show you how this is traditionally done, I'm going to show you another method that will allow you to end clean. I say clean because it's technically not fully clean, but I'll explain later. This trick is called the 8-card brainwave. Now, you don't have to use 8 cards. It can be more, it can be less. Really up to you. But the method is the same. So let me start by showing you what it looks like. Okay, so here's how it works. You got a packet of cards, you spread the cards out in front of your spectator, and you ask them to pick any card that they want, and you emphasize that it is a free choice. All right, so let's say they choose the 3 of clubs. Give them one chance to change their mind. By the way, only give them one chance. If you don't, they will keep changing their mind, and the trick will take forever. And trust me, they'll do that. If they do change their mind, you simply put the card back, and you choose, let's say they change their mind to the 10. You say, perfect, watch. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you something. Let's put your 10 over to the side here. All of these cards are similar in a certain way. Let me show you. Hopefully at this point you are getting what I am putting down, if you know what I mean. Yes, all cards are similar, except for, of course, one card. How crazy, how crazy, how crazy, how crazy. And their mind is blown. Okay. It's just a card trick, right? But it's still a pretty cool card trick. You give them any free choice, they can choose really whatever they want, and they always end up with the odd-backed card. So let's go into how does this work. The way that this works is this. If I spread through these, you will see we have red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm going to separate these out just to explain a little bit more of what you need. So what you need is 2 even amounts, 2 of the same amounts of different colored cards. So you need a red deck and a blue deck, all right? Go into that deck and grab out, I would say, at least 5 cards from each deck. Here we have 6, but as long as you have the same amount of red as you do blue, the trick will work. Also, another important fact, make sure that none of these cards repeat, right? Don't have a Queen of Hearts from here and a Queen of Hearts from here, right? You want different cards all along. All right. Now, I'm going to use 6 for the demonstration. So if you follow along, get 6 cards from your blue deck and your red deck. But again, you can do it with more. So, like this. And what you're going to do is take your 2 decks and you're going to stack them like this. It doesn't matter which hand you start with. You're just going alternate. So if you did it right, you'll have one color on the top and a different color on the bottom. All right, and that's it. That's the setup. Now, when you perform this, you usually don't want to show them the back of the card first. You want to start by showing them a packet like this, and obviously you need a table because you got to be able to spread the cards. So what you do is you spread the cards out. Actually, I'm going to spread them this way. So spread out the cards. And you give them a free choice. You emphasize, again, that it's a free choice. Give them one chance to change their mind, but not more than one chance. So let's say they choose the 6. All right. Now, if they do change your mind, it is going to be important to the trick that you place the 6 right back where it was, or else the cards will be out of order and you'll look dumb. And we don't want you to look dumb. So, let's say they change their mind to the Joker here, all right? So what you're going to do is I separate them to show where the card was as I pull it out, so I know it was between these 2. because that's going to be important to this next part. You're going to want to take everything that was below the Joker and put it on top of everything that was above it. So you're going to want to take this and place it over here. But you don't want to do it that obvious, so you pull it all the way out, and here's how I do it. I scoop up both at the same time, and then I just slide this one here underneath what was below the Joker, like that. And then the cards, basically you just want to make sure you end up with the cards going red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, blah, 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 blah. All right? So now here's the move, right? What you're going to do is you're going to have the cards like this, right? This is how you end it. You square them up. I place this to the side for the moment, and then I say, I want to show you something. All these cards are similar in a certain way. You push off the top card, you grab it with your hand, so you have a single card in your right hand, the rest of the cards are in your left hand. Mechanics grip, by the way, if you don't recognize that magical term. You're going to turn over both your hands at the same time, and then you're going to place this card, the single card down, as well as the next card in the stack down. Push over the third card, turn over both your hands, place that third card down, place the fourth card down, push over the next card, turn over both your hands, place it down, place the next card down. Now, if you don't get what's going on is you're showing the back of this card over and over and over, and because you're doing it in this fashion, people think that you're seeing every card as red, when really you're hiding all the blue cards. And then you get to the end, and when you get to the last card, you can show the last card, obviously, and then you turn it over. And then you can have them actually turn over this card. Oh. Build it up, by the way. Build it up. Don't just go, and it's blue, right? You look silly. You want it to be magical. You got to build it up. That's your job. You go, boom! Blue. Also, before I do that, I do like to turn over the entire packet. You got to make sure it's squared up, because if you flash, you'll look dumb, right? So before you actually turn over this card, you turn over the entire packet, then boom, just so that way they see that contrast. Now, obviously, the problem is if they grab this deck and they look through it, they will see this, and you'll get in trouble. Now, for somebody who's been doing Magic for a while, you kind of know how to control people, not in the creepy way. You kind of know how to control people in a way that makes them not want to look or not going to grab the cards out of your hands. But if you're more of an amateur at this, you haven't really figured out the psychology of it, and you constantly get people grabbing stuff out of your hands, that could happen to you. So here's how we're going to avoid it, all right? There's a little bit more work involved, but it allows you to end clean, all right? So let's separate these cards out real quick. So basically what you're going to need is you're going to need your blue deck and your red deck back, okay? So look at what cards you have for your blue cards and get, where did I put them? And get exact duplicates of them in red. So you can see 6 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 6 of hearts, jack. These are all the same cards in red as in the blue, right? Do the same thing, obviously, for your red cards. Get your blue deck out and get the exact same cards. Now, take your copies of your blue cards, take the blue copy of your red deck and your red copy of your blue deck, if that's not confusing. But take your copies. So here's your blue copies. Put these into your left pocket, okay? Take your red copies and put them into your right pocket. Red, right. Get it? Makes it easy. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to sit there and be like, where did I put my red cards? And then you're searching your pockets, and then you look dumb. Right, anyway, so setup is all the same, but there is a little bit difference in how this is performed. So you got your pocketed cards. We're going to go through the same exact things, right? So you spread out the cards. Boop, 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 boop. You give them a choice. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe they change their mind. So, yep, pull out the other card. Scoop them up, right? All the same. And then the show is the same except for one little detail. You're going to show both the backs. Place the card down. But instead of putting this into the same pile, you're going to make a separate pile. Just like this. Don't explain why you are doing this. You just do it, right? Boom. Boom, right? And what you're doing, essentially, and don't forget to put the last card always goes in the further pile over here. But what you're doing, essentially, is you're making a pile of all reds and all blues, so you can switch them out. Now, you're going to be like, how am I going to get these cards from my pocket over here all the way and switch it with this whole packet here, right? Because at this point in the trick, their card is red, and you'll know that because you're showing them all blue backs. But so you need to switch out your red deck for the blue deck that you have in your left pocket. Now, the nice thing is the cards will always end up in this pile here. Whichever pile you are holding the packet in your hand with, the pile closest to your hand will always be the one you have to switch out. The nature of the trick, right? So what you're going to do is after you spread them out and you show them the back of all the cards, tell them, push their card towards them and ask them to flip it over. As they do that, you're going to reach into your pocket, grab out the blue stack, add it to the other blue stack. At the same time, your other hand grabs the other cards, the red cards, and puts them in your pocket. It seems like a lot of motion all at once, but the reaction from this will be strong enough to give you a long enough time to do this. This is something I've done for a very long time. I actually put an entire deck of cards in my pocket during most of my tricks, and I never get caught, and it's because you have to do it while they're reacting to the trick. So as long as you do it at that moment, you will get away with this. So now you put the red cards away. You have just the stack of blue cards in your hands. Now, if they do grab it to look for more red cards, all they will find is blue. There is one little issue with how this works. Don't hate me. I can't really control this or make it any more perfect without making this way more complex than it needs to be. And this is the problem. If we spread the cards out at this point face up, you will see that there is a duplicate of their chosen card. Now, the reason that this isn't really going to matter is that when you're done and they grab it out of your hands, they're going to be looking at the backs of the cards, not the front of the cards. I've done this a lot, and trust me, that's the psychology. For whatever reason, they don't look at the front, they'll look at the back. But do not present this as, here, check the other cards, because then they're going to find it. If you do it that way, they'll find it. If you let them, if they try to grab the cards out of your hands, not ask, if they ask to see them, you just spread through them. But if they grab the cards out of your hands, this is what covers you. So how can you use this trick? I always hate when somebody would show me a trick like this and they wouldn't explain in what situations you would use it. So there's two ways to use this trick. One is on an online show you're doing through Zoom call. You're trying to impress that girl from Tinder. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's creepy. The other way is on the internet. They can't reach through the monitor and grab the cards to inspect them. So if you end dirty, it doesn't matter. I also use this personally after, I use this in my professional show, by the way. I use this after Adrian LaCroix's Virtual Triumph, which if you know that trick, you end with 16 cards that are not aces, and you can easily switch out the packet when they're reacting to Adrian's trick for this trick and go into that right next. If you know Adrian's trick, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. The other context that you can use this is have that stack on top of a normal deck, like a red deck or a blue deck, and then, or at the bottom, and then at some point just pull out the cards and say, we'll use a couple of these cards and pull out all the cards that you need from that deck, and then go into this. That way it hides those cards in plain sight, right, inside a whole deck. And then you have the rest of the deck to play with, to do other tricks with if you want. So I hope you found that useful. If you did like that trick, give me a thumbs up. Remember, it's called the 8-card brainwave, but you don't have to use 8 cards. Make sure, if you really like this trick and you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you later.